Welcome to Camp Hill. Interesting. Looks like it's been empty quite a while. And there's another structure, and there's another structure. Those jars aren't old enough. Well, there's a White House jar, or a jug I should say, but having a cement floor means it's probably a 1940s structure. Well, this was a big operation of some sort. The chimney looks fairly old. I don't know if it's 1905 old or not, but it's amazing how the land can look like this on one side of the road and look like this on the other side. Okay, I saw a sign that said Historic Cemetery. It's very small, but it looks very old. Nice iron gates around it. Too bad the tree fell down and smashed just one part of it. Now, I don't usually go to old cemeteries and look at the tombstones, but they are interesting every now and then. Okay, it continues over this way with the less elaborate graves. There's one from 1862 to 1912. So, 1912 is pretty old. Let's see, how about this one? 1904 to 1904. Apparently they started over this way because this one is from 1903. 1915, and there's a 1906. But you know why we really came here, don't you? We really came here because behind old cemeteries is a common location for old dump sites. So, let's take a look. Well, it just doesn't look quite right. I mean, there's no downgrades, no hills, no ravines or hollows. Nothing at all. It looks so ordinary that I guess this is not a productive spot. Well, I spoke too soon. I noticed way off in the distance it does change to an area where it has a bit of a drop off anyway. Not a very big one, but 3 feet maybe. It just isn't looking very good either. Sorry folks, I have been having a dry spell on the treasure, so hopefully I'll make up for it real soon. Here's another old house you can barely see. It's right off the main downtown district, but it's just so overgrown. And then there's a chimney right over there. I just happened to notice it. That is one of the oldest houses and biggest houses. Well, this video turned out to be more of a sightseeing tour, not so much treasure hunting, but next time I will find some treasure, I assure you. I had high hopes for this town of Camp Hill, but it has beaten me and the bottles have eluded me, so I guess it's a failure mission again. Today's adventure brings us to Notasulga, Alabama. I've been to this creek before, 13 years ago, and I had success. But I know it's been walked by several other people in the meantime. But let's see if we can find something. What good bottle did I find last time? Well, it was an Opelika straight-sided Coke. But I'm seeing something that's different. We're sort of in a drought, but it sure doesn't look like it. It looks a lot worse than it did last time. I don't understand what's going on here. We had a tiny bit of rain last night. It looks incredibly deep and dirty. Can't see through the water. Well, I guess that's a no then. I guess we're gonna have to go privy searching and walking in the woods for dumps. It sure seems like it rained a lot more over here than it did in Dadeville. But we have a railroad track, and you know what they say, there's dumps on the sides of them. Eventually, if you look hard enough, I don't know, I guess we'll try it for a while. Well, it's a lot nicer than the town we just came from. As far as the woods are concerned, it's very easy to walk around in. Not like Camp Hill. Okay, last time I was here I didn't have a map. I have a special map. It's kind of late, it's from the 30s, but it shows all the houses in town, so I'll try it out and see. I think I got a few empty lots to check out. Okay, we're coming up to some vacant lots. Okay. Oh, here's an empty house lot right here. I didn't even notice it until I stopped. So let's check it out. Okay, I was just about to leave town. I was leaving town actually, and then I saw this. It's a big ravine right outside of town. Well, actually, it's right inside of town. So I'm gonna check it out, of course. I forgot to mention that this town actually has a straight-sided Coke. It's a pretty rare one, but I think it's only about a $300 one, which is nothing compared to the $3,000 one from the town we just came from. Okay, And there's a Pepsi bottle from the 70s. But the next town we go to is going to be Tuskegee. And there's a couple good bottles from there. Especially the Hutches. But the Coke Hutch is not a very good one. I mean, it's a $2,000 one, but it's a block printed one. And I found the dump. There were probably 7 or 8 of those were found in. But I made the mistake of telling somebody else about it. And he made the mistake of claiming it as his own discovery, not thinking that I would ever hear about it. Yep, I studied a map for a long time to come up with the idea to look at the lowest point in the whole town that had a creek running through it. It was at least a mile out of town. There's a Pepsi out, by the way. And yeah, I found the dump over there, and I found a J&J straight side of Coke right on the surface, right on the edge of the creek, as proof that I was the first one there, because I found it right at the entry point where the dump begins. I wish I would have filmed it. But that was 13 years ago. I didn't start filming until about 10 years ago. Well, this creek is too small. Doesn't seem to have much going for it. Just a lot of 70s stuff. Oh, I've dug over 4,000 privies, and I'll tell you right now, the oldest one I have ever dug was in Tuskegee. Yes, I dug about 28 open bottled bottles. Nothing but open bottled bottles. But they were all broken except for one. But it was embossed. I forget what it was. I think it was some kind of a worm syrup type bottle. But that was a solid 1840s hole. It was only about 2 feet deep, but it was just loaded with broken shards of bottled bottles. I don't know if it was even a privy or just a trash pit. Maybe a construction privy for when the construction workers were building the place in the 1840s. Well, we got a semi-antique shop here. Of course, it's Wednesday, and of course they're closed on Wednesday. Just my luck. And of course they have plenty of bottles in there. Almost makes me want to stay overnight, but I just can't do that. And of course I wanted to call him and ask him if he would come over, but my phone seems to have broken. That is all I have to report for the town of Notasulga. I'll see you next week.